Are you always looking for new recipes to try for your family, but you don't want to just go out there blindly and try something that you don't know is really good? I'm here to help. We give new recipes a try all the time, and the ones that we deem winners, we bring to you. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. I know grilling season really is a summer thing, but honestly, I love it in the fall time just because it's not so hot outside and you're not standing over a hot grill, or Steven's not standing over a hot grill. It is beautiful outside. Steven is gonna grill us some yummy steaks that we got from ButcherBox, and I'm gonna be inside making a new side dish. I really love grits. I love grits in the morning with breakfast. And controversial, when you have grits at breakfast time, do you add salt and like the savory to your grits? Or are you weird like me and you add sugar to your grits? One time we were at Waffle House and I grabbed the sugar container, you know, that's sitting on the table that people use to pour into their coffee, and I was pouring it onto my grits, and the waitress said, "Honey, that's not salt." I said, "I know." She looked at me like, "Were you gonna come in here and comment on the fact that I put sugar in my grits?"
Yeah, I was gonna try to refrain from making fun of you too much.
People make fun of me all the time. I don't
put
care.
Some butter, some salt, and some pepper. That's about all you need.
Butter and sugar.
No.
Yes, in the morning time. But tonight, there's no sugar in our grits tonight. Tonight, I'm making a new side dish. It is called cheesy Rotel grits.
I love some cheesy grits, though.
I know, cheesy grits are really good. So that's what we're doing tonight. Okay, to get started, let's preheat our oven to 350. I've got an 8x8 dish here. I'm just gonna spray it with a little bit of cooking spray. Now in this saucepan, I'm gonna add 3 3/4 cup of chicken broth. This is low sodium chicken broth. And then we're gonna add just a pinch of salt to this. All right, we're gonna turn this on to about medium high or so. We're gonna let it come up to a boil. Now that this has come up to a boil, we're gonna add in 1 cup of quick cooking grits. You don't want instant grits, but quick cooking. And we're gonna turn it down to low immediately. We're gonna cook it on low for 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. We're gonna remove it from the heat, bringing it over here. Let's add some yummy goodness to this. I've got a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. We're gonna put in about half of it now. We're also going to add in a couple of pats of butter, so about 2 tablespoons of butter. Start stirring this in. We want all of this to melt, obviously. I've got 4 ounces of Velveeta cheese that I've cut into very small cubes. About 1/2-inch cube is what you need. Let's add in a little bit of garlic powder. The recipe calls for about 1/2 teaspoon. You want a can of Rotel undrained, just add that directly in. We're gonna set it to the side. Now I've got this small bowl here. I'm going to crack both of these eggs in. Beat these really quickly. And then we need to temper our eggs before we add them in. So we're gonna add a very small amount of our grits mixture in and just stir that in to kind of temper them. Now let's slowly add in our eggs. You want to stir it constantly, which is kind of hard to do. This is done. Let's pour this mixture into our greased 8x8 dish. Okay, this is going in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. And then after the 30 minutes, we'll sprinkle it with the remaining cheese and let it bake for another 10 minutes. So we've got some melted butter here. Steven is gonna be seasoning the steaks with some of this Mr. Sticks herb and garlic, one of our favorites. So he seasoned both sides with the herb butter, and then he also put some salt and pepper on both sides. So this is ready to go in the grill.
First, the grits.
That's right, we gotta do the grits first. There's no sugar in these grits.
Oh boy, cheesy. That's what this looks like, creamy and cheesy. Yes, cheesy grits. It's like cheesy, creamy, and then just a little spice from the Rotel.
Yeah. Good stuff. Gracie said, meow.
Oh man, that's Velveeta cheese too?
Yeah, Velveeta's in there.
No wonder it's so creamy. Like it's creamy. Oh wow.
And the grits were
really
cooked in chicken broth and not water, so.
That's amazing.
Okay, well I'm excited to give that a try, as well as our ribeye steaks, because they are the best. Even better than my sugar grits in the morning. These are delicious, and I know I'm gonna love my ButcherBox steak. How's yours? Cooked perfectly? Yes.
Lovely.
All right, we love ButcherBox. I know y'all know that, but let me tell you a little bit more about them. I want to thank ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. I have been using ButcherBox, receiving ButcherBox for a couple of years now. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember not getting ButcherBox. If you are thinking about trying ButcherBox, you want to make sure you are getting a great value. First of all, there's the price. ButcherBox comes with 2 standard box options. You have the curated box that they choose and pack for you, and then you also have the custom box. Within the curated box, you can get the classic box or you can get the big box. And so if you have a larger family, you'll want to opt for the big box. The classic box has 5 cuts of meat. That includes 8 to 11 pounds of meat, and it's enough for 24 meals. And it's gonna cost you $146 per box. So if you think about that, that's their least expensive option, and it is the most beneficial, because if it can get you 24 meals, that's cooking every meal at home Monday through Friday for an entire month using your ButcherBox, your one ButcherBox. The custom box, which is what we choose, includes 6 cuts, and it's 9 to 14 pounds of meat. You're gonna get 30 meals from it, and the cost is $169. Next, when you think of value, you think of time. I don't know about y'all, but there have been so many times in the past where I go to the grocery store looking for a particular cut of meat, and they may have it, but it may not look very good. And honestly, y'all, when you're buying it from the grocery store, do we really know where these animals were sourced, how they were fed? A lot of that is just kind of left up in the air. We have no idea. And that's another added value that you get from ButcherBox, and that is quality. So ButcherBox sources their meat and seafood from partners who are dedicated to doing the right thing. So your beef is grass-fed and grass-finished. Your pork is raised crate-free. The chicken is free-range and organic. And the seafood is wild-caught. Meat claims can be confusing to understand, so I'm thankful for ButcherBox because I know exactly what I'm getting. And one more thing when we're talking about value is the member benefits. So not only can you choose the frequency of your box, you can get 1 a month, 2 a month, however often you want to get them. But once you are a part of the ButcherBox community, you get access to special add-ons and member deals for each box. They'll have holiday cuts like a whole turkey, and stay tuned for that. I'm going to tell you a little about that. And sometimes they'll already have some prepared items for you like pulled pork. So there are a lot of reasons to choose ButcherBox. And it's just really easy to put my money behind a company that is dedicated to doing the right thing. And that's why I always choose to bring ButcherBox meat to my table. So if you have ever been thinking about trying ButcherBox, now is the time to do it. We're coming up on the holidays, and they have a really special deal for new members. Right now, if you join ButcherBox, you can use my link below. New members are going to receive a 12 to 14 pound turkey free in their first box. That is perfect for Thanksgiving, Christmas. So be sure to check my description box, click on that link, go claim your free turkey when you sign up for ButcherBox. And I know that your family is just gonna fall in love with the meat that you receive from ButcherBox. It's time for our second meal. Today I am making Philly cheesesteak pasta. This is very simple, and it kind of reminds me of like a hamburger helper. We just need to chop a green bell pepper and a medium onion. Now we need 8 ounces of pasta. You can use penne pasta. I'm gonna use the rest of this box of ziti that I have. While we start to cook our pasta, I'm gonna go ahead and heat this skillet to about medium high, and we are gonna brown 1 pound of ground beef. Okay, now that this has browned, we are gonna leave any fat behind really, and just remove it to this plate lined with paper towels. We've got our grease left behind. We're gonna add in, it says a couple of tablespoons. I'm just gonna use the rest of this. This is like 2.5 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna let that melt. And now to the butter, you're gonna add in 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. I think the recipe called for white mushrooms, but my store didn't have that. So we're just going with what we had. Some of these mushrooms are huge. We're gonna chop them in half. These have been cooking for about 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and add in our peppers and onions. So we're just gonna cook this for another 2 to 3 minutes, just until our onions start to soften up a little bit, as well as our peppers. While we're waiting on our onions and peppers to soften, I've got 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm gonna add a couple of tablespoons of cold water and just whisk this together, because we are gonna add it in towards the end to help thicken everything. Let's start adding in some more things, but first I'm turning the heat down to low. And now I'm gonna stir in my French onion soup. It's just 1 can. And then we just need a couple of tablespoons of the Dub sauce, Worcestershire sauce. sauce. See, I can't say Worcester sauce. That's hard to say because I want to say Worcester sauce. All right, now we're gonna add in that cornstarch slurry and let that thicken up for just a couple of minutes. Okay, now that this has thickened up a little bit, we're gonna add our ground beef back in. And we're also going to add our pasta that we drained. I'll just stir all that together. So at this point, it's all combined. You want to salt and pepper to taste. I'm just going to go ahead and use my Auntie No Knows Everything seasoning. I've got about 1/3 pound of provolone cheese that I've chopped, and we're going to pop the lid on this skillet and let it melt completely. There's your provolone cheese.
Philly cheesesteak.
I know.
I've been craving this.
Okay, well, good.
So let's get into this stuff here. We got a fork full of
Goodness.
deliciousness here. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was craving right there. Philly cheesesteak.
Has it got all the perfect flavors?
Just like a Philly cheesesteak, except it's pasta.
If you just close your eyes, you think you're just eating a Philly cheesesteak.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Yes.
The flavors, oh gosh. That's good stuff, babe.
These flavors together are amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
The peppers and onions, beef with the flavor of the onion soup mix or whatever you put in there.
It's delicious.
Really good.
Well, that is definitely a winner. Y'all should make it. Here, have a bite. Okay, y'all, it is the 3rd meal of the week, and that means it's Subbie Supper night. Subbie Supper just means that one of my subbies, my subscribers, sent in one of their favorite meals, and we're giving it a try. Tonight's Subbie Supper comes from Elaine. Elaine and her husband, Steven, also spelled with a V, like my Steven, have been married for 4 years. They live in Columbus, Georgia, and they have 2 fur babies, a dog named Sylvester and a cat named Oreo. Elaine said she first tried this recipe because she was trying to be a little more adventurous with spicy foods. Her husband, like my husband, really loves spicy foods, but she not so much. So she was pleasantly surprised when she tried this one because you can control the level of spice with it, and it was not too spicy. The name of this one sounds more difficult than the actual recipe is. This is called Cornbread Crusted Chicken with a bacon jalapeno popper sauce. That's a mouthful. Hopefully it's going to be a tasty mouthful. Let's get started. I've got 3 pretty large pieces of bacon that I'm going to bring over here to this cast iron skillet and fry up. The recipe says you can use up to 6 pieces of bacon. I'm just going with this amount here because I'm doing a little bit less than the original recipe anyway. Let's seed and chop these 2 jalapenos. While our bacon is still over there cooking, we are going to set up a dredging station for our chicken. So I need 1 egg beaten. In this bowl here, we are going to add 1 cup of cornmeal. I have self-rising cornmeal. I really don't think that's going to be an issue. And I'm just going to eyeball this. This is just to dredge our chicken in, so we can always add more if we need to. And to that, we're going to add some spices. A 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I've already mixed all of that together here. Just mix that together. Some of these are already done. I'm going to remove them over here to this paper towel lined plate and let them cool. We will chop them up in just a little bit. That could get a little crispier. Do you like your bacon crispy or kind of floppy? What do you prefer? I'm a crispy kind of gal. Okay, we just traded places. I put my larger skillet here where this was. We just put this to the side. We're gonna let that bacon grease just sit in there. That's totally fine. We're gonna use this skillet to make the sauce in just a little bit. But first, let's get started on our chicken. Very simple. Let's just grab our chicken breast, dip it in the egg, and then take it over to our cornmeal. Let's go over to the skillet. Our skillet is still heating up. I'm gonna add just a little bit of vegetable oil. And now we're just gonna add in our chicken. We're just gonna cook this completely through on both sides. Since we have really thin chicken breast, this is not gonna take long at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started over here on our sauce. So I've got this heated to about medium. We are gonna add in our jalapeno straight to our bacon grease. Nope, our bacon grease. We're also gonna add in a little salt and pepper. We are just cooking our jalapeno until they are softened. So maybe 2-3 minutes, and then we'll add in our garlic. Now we need to deglaze our pan with our chicken broth. We need 2 cups of chicken broth. Again, I'm not using quite 2 cups. Let me just scrape the bottom of this pan really good. We're gonna let that heat through. Okay, this is what we wanted. We wanted this to start to come up to a boil. Now we're gonna add in our cream cheese and allow that to completely melt all the way through. Now our cream cheese is softened already. So now I'm just going through and whisking this until all of that cream cheese is completely melted. And then we're gonna add in some cheddar cheese too. That is finally melted and smooth. We're gonna add in about 3/4 of a cup of cheddar cheese and let that melt. And then we're gonna pour this over our chicken. That is completely done and resting over there now. Oh, and we're also gonna add our bacon in too, of course.
I know it's got jalapeno business. Is that bacon?
Uh-huh.
Wow. What have you done? That is amazing.
Is it?
Man.
I'm so glad you like it.
Oh, it's like creamy, bacon, spicy. Is there cheese in this?
Cream cheese.
Cream cheese. You gotta be kidding me. This is
There's regular
tremendous.
cheddar cheese too, but there's a good bit of cream cheese in that. Okay, so have you changed your mind, at least on some dishes, for cream cheese? Out of 10, what do we give this one?
A 10.
Mm-hmm. With cream
Man.
cheese in it. Who'da thunk it?
That is absolutely delicious.
It's Subbie Supper. You need to thank Elaine.
Elaine. Wow. Man, that is great.
Y'all need to try this one. It is so good. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to go check out ButcherBox. If you've ever thought about it before, now is the time. You're going to get a free 12 to 14 pound turkey in your first box if you become a new member. As always, if you'll give this video a big thumbs up, that does help out my channel. And if you haven't already, I'd love for you to stick around, hit that red subscribe button below. Thanks y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Grace. Yeah, I have cheese. I do. You excited? Okay. That was good. Yeah. There you go. Can of Rotel that I just stuck my finger in. Hello. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. Now we need to add cheese to the top. Ma'am, I know. You got to go on though, because you're going to get burned. I got to open up the oven. Go on. Excuse me, ma'am. Thank you.
Philly cheesesteak.
Well, I ordered you a Philly cheesesteak from Arby's the other day, and they gave you €1 instead.
Yeah, what's up with that?
They were like, no, he doesn't need that. He needs €1. Okay, y'all, it is time for our second. You're just going to stay here and drink coffee.
It's Java burrito time.
Java burrito coffee cup meal tonight. Tonight? What is tonight? I was going to say today and tonight. Stop!
I got aggro a little bit.
You always aggro. Okay, are you gonna?
Hair's looking good.
Thank you.
This is amazing.
You can't have it, baby. Oh, I forgot to give you your cheese. It's sitting on the counter. There was a piece of cheese reserved for her. Gracie!